Welcome to Bristol, Tennessee, where today on FX, it's the 6th Busch race of the year, the Cheeze It 250. This racetrack nestled within Thunder Valley, bringing out the lightning of NASCAR and some of the best bumping and grinding action you'll ever see. We're in the Tri-Cities area in eastern Tennessee. Those cities, Kingsport, Johnson City, and of course, Bristol, all part of the Appalachian Mountain Range. This unique arena usually produces a show fit for a stadium. This weekend, expecting nothing less. Sterling Marlin, who's from Tennessee, won the Busch race here last year. Kevin Harvick is on the pole today as the fans filing in. NASCAR's most exciting short track with some big-time racing, and you get a look at where we are. That's the Hollywood Hotel. We're right in the garage area, right on top.
NASCAR on FX welcomes you to Thunder Valley, Bristol, Tennessee. And the 6th race of the NASCAR Busch Series for 2001, the Cheeze It 250. This crowd is stacked 6 stories high around a half-mile racetrack. It's an intimate, theater-like stadium setting. But the action here will be spectacular. 15 times this race has had 10 or more caution flags in trying to get to the 250 laps. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Bristol. Mike Joy with Larry McReynolds and Darrell Waltrip, the all-time Winston Cup winner at this racetrack. And, Darrell, how do you thrive to survive and win here?
This joint is all about driver. It's not about car. It's not about aerodynamics, Larry. It's not all about who's got the best handling car necessarily. It's about the guy that can get up on the wheel, grunt it out, and hang in there, because this place is tough.
And things happen so fast here. After we have our first caution, and trust me, we will have 1 or 2 cautions, these cars, single file restart, they'll be stretched out 3/4 of the way around the racetrack. If you measure the length of this racetrack, it's shorter than the length of the backstretch at Daytona. The leaders will be lapping cars in probably less than 20 laps.
Have a look at the field there, and in that field there are 10 drivers making their first Bristol start, and these drivers who are bushwhacking, Winston Cup drivers who are also running the Busch race, they're double dipping, so to speak, so it's going to be a long 750 laps this weekend for these 6 drivers. Let's go down to the starting grid, and the editor of Speedway Illustrated for more, Dick Berggren.
Thanks, Mike. In this morning's drivers meeting, series director John Darby reminded competitors that his office trailer on the premises has 8 very comfortable seats, and that is where anyone who is too aggressive, who uses too much front bumper, will be invited. Well, last fall, Kevin Harvick kept his cool, started on the pole, led most of the laps, won the race. But, Kevin, there's going to be an awful lot of people today that are not going to keep their cool. How will you keep yours?
The biggest thing right now is that we're starting out front, and the guys have done an exceptional job all weekend, and we're just going to work on trying to keep our bumper clean. If we get back in the middle of this thing, we'll have to reserve a seat in there. But I just want to tell Darrell, I got my cheater strap. My neck's not going to get tired.
Okay, well, keep your fenders on it, and good luck. Let's go to Steve Burns.
Well, thanks, Dick. Kenny Wallace didn't get the call to get in the number 48 car until the week before Daytona. Last week, he was 4th at Darlington. He's 6th in points. And today, starting from row 2, Kenny, tell us about this wild racetrack.
Oh, man, this is Bristol. I mean, it's crazy. And, you know, the bad part about Bristol is that I love coming here, but I don't like it when they wreck in front of me, and I don't like it when I wreck. So we just try to keep the school pumps, you know, staying straight all day and try to get a win.
All right, best of luck. Let's go back to Mike Joy.
Thanks, Steve, and let's go down trackside here at Bristol Motor Speedway for today's opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you rise, please, for today's invocation to be delivered by Stan Anderson of the Liberty Baptist Church and a member of Raceway Ministries.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this great event today. We're excited about being here. We thank you for all who have come. Lord, we lift up the drivers today and ask your blessing upon them. We ask, Lord, for your blessing upon their families as well. We ask you, Father, to bless the pit crews, their families, all the people behind the scenes today. Lord, we give thanks for the privilege of being here. Thank you that we have this great country called America. Thank you for the freedoms we enjoy. And now, Lord, we thank you most of all for the Lord Jesus Christ, that he is our Lord and Savior. And we ask you to bless this day in his wonderful name. Amen.
please remain standing as the United States Air Force Color Guard presents our national colors and to sing the national anthem from Sevierville, Tennessee, Janine Hurst.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we'd hailed as the twilight flash gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red flares, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Grand Marshal for today's Cheeze It 250, the Vice President and General Manager of Cheeze It, Mr. Rich Robertson.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Nicely done.
Yes.
Well, the sun has faded. It's become suddenly a very cloudy day here in Bristol as we have a look at the starting lineup for today's Cheeze It 250. Kevin Harvick has his third career pole. He was the winner here last August, as you've heard. Matt Kenseth, who won here August '99, alongside. Row 2, would you believe Ryan Newman starting third? That's his worst qualifying effort. And Kenny Wallace, who won here in '94. Greg Biffle with 2 runner-up finishes this season, and Jimmy Johnson, 5th at Daytona. Here's Matt Yoakum.
And Mike, rookie Ryan Newman may have an ace in his pocket with 9-time Bristol winner Rusty Wallace. But rookie Greg Biffle has Sunday's Winston Cup pole sitter Mark Martin in his corner for advice and chassis help. But both rookies know the key to a good day in Thunder Valley is survival. And the Wallace and Martin can be their eyes and ears, but not their brains, because patience and controlled aggression starts and ends in the cockpit, not on the spotter stand. To Jeannie Zalasko.
Well, Matt, 6 races into the season, and look who is still behind the wheel of the 00. Todd Bodine. Why mess with success, right? But he hasn't had much success in the pits lane. Now, just in credit to his crew, they were put together last minute. They didn't get a lot of time to practice. Now they will, because Bodine has brought in his Winston Cup pit crew for this race. He knows what he's doing. He's a guy to watch today. He could win. He's won here twice before and has 7 top 5s. Mike?
Thanks, Jeannie. Todd's on the inside of row 4 next to Jeff Purvis. In the 5th row, Mike Dillon and Michael Waltrip. And as you have a look back through the rest of this starting lineup, Darrell, double-digit number of caution flags have been the rule here rather than the exception in this race.
Yeah, we got 10 guys that are making their first Bristol start. So what's that going to lead to, Larry?
I hope it don't lead to double that amount of cautions. But again, things happen so fast here. And the thing that I want to talk about a little bit is strategy here. 250 laps, they get 2 sets of tires to change under caution. But these guys qualified in the mid-15-second bracket. Jason Keller told me yesterday at the end of 50 laps, he was still running in the 1580s. So I don't see a whole lot of tire changing going on because track position is pretty important.
And that's why Harvick's tying his neck down. I've been on that kid, you know, for the last couple of weeks. How are you going to do 2 weekends or 2 races in 1 weekend when it gets hot up into the middle of the summertime? I got him thinking. He's tying his neck down. He's worrying about it.
How'd you like to be 25 again?
Hi, man, I guess I could have done the same thing when I was 20. You know what? He's got going for him Richard Childress and the spirit of Dale Earnhardt. That's what's driving that kid.
Today they'll race 250 laps around the .533 mile Bristol Motor Speedway. And they could go 160 to 170 laps, but if we go that far without a caution, I'll buy everybody a set of tires.
Not only that, we'll be out of breath.
Right.
And so will the driver. We'll be the only one. No,
Yeah.
they'll all have their tongue hanging out.
The weather is quite variable. It was sunny and getting up around 60 degrees an hour or so ago, but as you see now, it is very, very cloudy. The temperature is up to 63 degrees, but there is a 50% chance of rain this afternoon.
But this concrete surface is so sensitive. If the sun should pop out, these cars really start sliding around. We saw that yesterday in practice in qualifying.
But right now, this is ideal racing conditions. Not all that hot. The sun's kind of covered up by the clouds, so that makes for some good racing conditions. Hopefully, it will be conducive to some good racing.
This is the steepest bank track in Major League NASCAR racing at 36 degrees in the corners. 3 degrees steeper than Talladega, 5 degrees steeper than Daytona.
Yeah, they can say what they want to, but this is the fastest track on the NASCAR circuit. You think about going around this half-mile racetrack in 15.19 seconds. You can't even get up and sit back down that quick.
Christian Elder drops to the rear of the field. He made what was deemed an unapproved engine change after something happened to his car in yesterday's final practice.
And boy, the team member that will really earn his money today is that guy on top of that spotter stand. He has got his work cut out for him like the race car driver does.
Shoot, I believe I'd have me 2 spotters here. I'd have one over on the back and one over on the front.
So crank your easy chair up to 36 degrees on the right side, and let's get ready to go racing in Thunder Valley. Green flag, we're racing at Bristol.
Everybody made it through one end clean.
Boy, they bottle up fast though, Larry. And there's not much outside lane right now, so you've got to work hard. Got to even take a chance to get the car to the inside if at all possible.
I always would tell my driver,
got a car up high going into one there that was wobbling all over the place.
No matter how slow you run the car, you got to run the bottom. If you ever get up, they'll freight train you like they will at Daytona or Talladega.
Oh, yeah,
they'll just bring a bunch of cars with them.
You could go from 1st to 15th and just getting in the outside lane.
First 6 cars, single file. Harvick, who leads for only the 2nd time this year. Newman up to 2nd, Kenny Wallace 3rd. Matt Kenseth dropped in line in 4th.
And see, the outside is such a sucker lane because you feel like those guys are slowing down so much to stay on the bottom that you can get by them on the outside. But once you get out there, you're stuck. The leaders right now is going into turn 1. The last place car's in the middle of the back straightaway. So they'll be lapping cars here in about 5 more laps.
I missed my number by quite a bit. I said 20 laps. This is going to be before 10 laps.
Oh, yeah. The guys in the front are running 15.50. The guys in the back are running 18 seconds. It doesn't take very long.
Larry Foyt caught up on the high side, thought he could battle there with Elder and Ron Young 71 and pays the price.
Yeah, he's just trying to get, everybody get by and get back down in line. That's all he can do right now.
Darryl, the worst nightmare for leading this race is lap traffic. Lap traffic.
Getting up on the outside.
There's Michael going around Randy LaJoy.
Well, actually, Michael got up on the outside and lost about 5 spots.
And another one. About to lose one to LaJoy here.
No, he'll be one of the first ones to try that outside line, but it's just not
turn
there.
3. Around goes Chad Chapin.
All kinds of cars going everywhere.
McMurray, Lewis slides in. Everybody else is going to get by.
Marty Houston, Brad Baker, nowhere to go. Slide down to the inside as well. And the 11 and the 28 car there.
And McMurray, unfortunately, Jamie McMurray, the rookie, got the worst of it. Wait till you see the nose of that car. The back end, that's the good end, folks.
See if we can see what happened here. They're going down into turn 3. I think it's that same old story. You're trying to get down on the inside.
Come down on Shane Hall there in the 63 car.
Here comes McMurray, no place to go. Kind of gets it slowed down, but bam, he gets hit in the back end.
Another look as Ashton Lewis.
See, Kelly Hinton in the 77 got in the back of Ashton Lewis right there as he was checking up for this wreck.
Absolutely an innocent passerby, but he got caught up in it.
Caution 1 comes at lap 7 here at Bristol, Tennessee. There's Ashton Lewis's damaged car. We'll be right back.
NASCAR on FX is brought to you by
Cheeze It, made with 100% real cheese. By Pep Boys, cars like us, people love us. And by smooth Busch beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
Green flag waving at Bristol after the first caution period. Jamie McMurray's car still being worked on. I believe everyone else made it back on track, except for Ashton Lewis.
Ryan Newman in 02 getting trapped behind the lap car there in the 61 of Tim Sauter. Kevin Harvick pulls out to about a 6-7 car length lead.
Here we go.
There are the 5 cars involved, although Brad Baker and Marty Houston were harmless spins. The damaged cars were Chapin, McMurray, and Lewis. Michael Waltrip again back up to the high side. Matt?
Mike, I spoke with Bobby Kennedy, the crew chief for Michael Waltrip's 99 car. There is some concern because Michael says the car is having difficulty turning to the right. They're not exactly sure what it is. He's going to try to ride it out until they get to a caution. To Genie.
Extended pit stop, guys, for the 37 car. The problem is with the throttle. They think they have it cleared up. At least they hope so.
Rookie Jerry McCart comes, well, I thought he was coming to pit road, but he's working around the apron. Kevin Grubb spent a lot of time during that caution with the hood up and rejoined the tail end of the field.
And you may say, what does it matter? He turned to the right. It's a left-handed course, but you still got to be able to cut the car both ways as you exit these turns because they do get loose.
Georgia driver Jerry McCart, making his Bristol debut, has gone to the garage. Harvick is your leader, and he's really opening up a margin now on Ryan Newman.
Well, there's nothing like being out front at Bristol and having a little margin there between you and the guy running second. We got one in the wall, turn 3 and 4.
Yep, Ron Young, the All-Pro graduate, hit the wall pretty hard and then backslid into the inside wall. Caution is out for the second time at lap 18.
You know, my wife always scored the cars here in the pits, and she'd always tell me, say, you don't know what it's like to do a race at Bristol. I can't even talk to the gas man and tell them what kind of mileage you're getting. That car spun out, and I didn't even see it. And this is a track you can see the whole track.
Things happen here so fast.
So quickly. I mean, the car was around and into the wall before you even see what happened.
Second caution of the day, and you see the tight, we'd call it stadium confines here. This looks like your average college football stadium blown up to about 4 times the size. It seats over 140,000 people, and there are seats all the way around.
See, it's a wide shot here. Let's see. Well, he just got in that corner all by himself, and the car come around on him, and this place will do that to you. You drive into the turn too hard, your car a little bit loose, you can't save it.
There may have been contact between Christian Elder, this car,
yeah,
the 38.
Yeah, I'd say there was contact, all right.
I'd call that heavy contact.
Yeah, but we're not sure with who. We thought he might have got into Ron Young, but we'll double check on that. Young is moving around, and he's going to climb out under his own power. That's good news for the All-Pro graduate who was making his 3rd Busch Series start today. Welcome back to Bristol. The Cheeze It 250 has completed 23 laps. We're under the second caution of the day. Ron Young's car has been hauled to the garage after losing a bout with the turn 4 wall. Here's Christian Elder, and a review of the tape indicates the damage to the nose of his car did not come from contact with Ron Young, rather coming up off turn 2. He got into the back of someone. Young appeared to spin on his own.
See him way back over here, and he just gets loose all by himself. I thought maybe that was the 38 car, but it wasn't. And
here's the 38 car down here.
Down on apron. Yeah. He already had trouble off turn 2.
And then he got held for a time penalty, so he may be a lap down when we go back to green. Kevin Harvick has led every lap here at Bristol, about half of them under the caution flag. We'll be right back with you on FX. Come back to Bristol. Pace car is in. We go back under green. Kevin Grubb trying to get back on the lead lap after that extended pit stop. He and Harvick touch. And everybody's okay.
Well, he got a lap down there and had trouble in the pits with that stick and throttle, and he being Grubb got a pretty fast car, looks like.
For more on Kevin Harvick, here's Steve.
Guys, we may see some interesting pit strategy down here in the 2 pits and along pit road. The crew chiefs are telling me the tires are wearing very well on the right side. Later in the race, we may see them come in and just take left side tires. We'll keep an eye on that and go to Dick Berger right now.
Trouble out of turn 4, front straightaway. The 16 slapped the wall. Sammy Sanders cautions out again. 3rd one of the day. Sorry, let's try to get back to Dick Berger in there.
Now, during that last caution period, Ryan Newman took great advantage of the fact that the cars were slowed down a little bit. He had picked up a piece of debris on the grill. And so what he did was, under caution, he shut off the fan, and he got really close to Kevin Harvick. That basically killed the air that was keeping the piece of debris on the grill. Piece of debris dropped. Water temperatures are just fine now. Smart stuff. Meanwhile, Greg Biffle has called to his crew and said that his car is extremely loose. He's having a real tough time hanging on it, and Biffle really ought to be kind of nervous about this place because he came here to test and absolutely demolished a brand new car. Not comfortable to be loose here at Bristol after an experience like that. Mike?
Thanks, Dick. Sammy Sanders' spin may have come after contact from Brad Teague.
Brad Teague was locked up like 2 old bulls.
Well, this is really uncalled for. Brad Teague should have checked up.
Happens in a hurry here.
Brad Teague just got into the left rear.
He almost had it straightened up here. He doesn't hit the outside wall, but he goes down and hits the inside wall here.
That was kind of uncalled for. I would have not been happy about that if I was Sammy Sanders.
And no apparent damage to Teague's car. So we're under the caution once again. This time for Sammy Sanders. We'll be right back to Bristol on FX.
FX welcoming you back to Bristol, Tennessee, and the Cheeze It 250. We're under caution currently. Kevin Harvick is your leader. Lots more racing this weekend. After this, the final practice for tomorrow's Winston Cup race. You'll see that on FX. That's later today. And then tomorrow, NASCAR this morning, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. The actual race itself at 12:30 Eastern. The pre-race show, that's on Fox. Dale Jarrett joining us here in the studio, and joining us right now, Jeff Hammond. We've already had 3 caution flags in 30 laps. This is a 250-lap race. The record, or at least here, 14 caution flags, and that's happened twice. Why are we seeing so much of this so early?
Welcome to Bristol. Welcome to the short tracks, and welcome to a situation where a lot of these drivers are getting very impatient because they started so far back. The leader's coming. It's just typical Bristol. You got to get after it, and some of them are getting very anxious very early.
Briefly, it looks like some ominous clouds rolling in. It's already cool.
It really is, and we're getting ready to come green, but they're trying to race the weather right now.
All right, let's go back to Mike Joy as they get ready to go under green.
Kevin Harvick's led every lap. He brings Ryan Newman, Mike McLaughlin, Matt Kenseth, Greg Biffle, and Todd Bodine back to the green flag.
Didn't have near the problem with the 37 car there. Kevin Grubb trying to get that lap back as he did on the last restart.
We've had 19 laps of caution and now 18 laps of green flag racing.
There's hardly a car. I looked at the cars under caution, Mike. About half the cars right now have the right front tire and fender all beat up, or the paint rubbed off the tires where they've been banging on each other.
Inside.
From Jeff Purvis, whoa, watching Tim Fedewa wiggle around. 66.
Would you say, was he wiggling around?
See what happened there. We talked about it right there. See, Tim Fedewa got under him. He took 2 or 3 more cars. Here goes Elton Sawyer in the 98 as well. You pull a whole string of cars with you once you get trapped on the outside.
Yeah, and trust me, you are afraid to cut down because you know there's somebody right there. Most of these cats won't give you a break.
Now they get single file, and the chatter is silent on the spotter channel.
Yeah, the spotters are trying to catch their breath. So it's been pretty intense these first few laps. If you ever get strung out and get a little racing going on, get everybody settled down, usually goes pretty well for a while.
This is a battle for about 13th, 14th, 15th, right in there. You see Jeff Green, our current points leader in the yellow number 10 car. Not a very good qualifying effort. Said was real happy with his car in half the hour and trying to get to the front. Matt Yoakum, what are they saying about that 10 car?
2 aggravations right now for Jeff Green in the 10 car, Larry. First off, he's very loose in the center of the corner in turns 1 and 2. He can't jump back in the gas as soon as he would like. The car is decent in turns 3 and
he's having difficulty getting around the 43 car of Jay Souter. They talked, the spotters did over the last caution, that if the 10 car got there, he would let him go because they felt like the 10 car was a little bit better. They didn't want to lose a lot of time, so Jay said he would let him go by.
But for now, Matt, Sauter's holding his own. Green seems to catch him in the straightaway, not put any distance to him in the corner.
You know what happens, Mike, is they'll call and say, let that 10 car go, and the guy will say, I'll let him go all right when he catches me, and you'll get up on the wheel a little harder.
That's right.
Well, Kevin Harvick in that 2-car stretching this lead out right there. Of course, remember the 37 car, he's a lap down. This is the same car that Kevin Harvick led 241 laps in August, sat on the pole, and won the race first time they've run this car this year.
There's the last place car, and here are the leaders coming fast. Harvick, the lap car of Kevin Grubb, Ryan Newman in second, Kenny Wallace in third.
And we've only been racing about 9 or 10 laps since the last caution. This is how fast you catch lap traffic here.
Well, you just have to wait for somebody to mess up a little bit, and then you got to leap. You got to be ready to go. When that car pushes up, you got to stick that nose in there.
Jamie McMurray back on track after being involved in the crash, the first one of the day at lap 8, but many laps down. Matt Kenseth up to 4th. He passed Kenny Wallace.
I tell you, that 66 car Speedway, he's passed a lot of cars, and he's got a pretty good looking hot rod under him today. He's going to the front.
You see Mike Dillon, I wanted to say Matt Dillon, like last week in the 21 car. He got on that high side. Everybody just freight trained him. He can't get to the bottom.
The MBNA cam from Jeff Purvis looking back. And trouble on the 55. He may have smacked the wall. That's Mark Green. You see all the smoke coming from his car.
A lot of smoke coming out of that car. He may actually have an engine problem, and the problem is he's trapped on the high side. He can't get to the bottom. See, he's trying to get to pit road right there and can't do it.
He may not have any power. That could be engine trouble, and they're looking at him. Now he gets down to the track apron.
Just in front of the leader, Kevin Harvick, but he's finally made it to the apron. He'll get to pit road. These guys had a little bit of a motor problem in practice yesterday, broke a rocker arm, did replace the motor, replace the rocker arm. It may have bit him here on lap 50.
Oh, in the wall, turn 59 car, in the wall, turn
Rich Bickle has a hard hit. No caution, now it's out. Caution is out. Geschichter, number 59 for Rich Bickle. You see the damage to the right front.
He just went up. He got looked like something happened to the right front of the car. He started up the track and just hit the outside wall.
4th caution of the day comes at lap 53. Four cautions, all for hard crashes with that unforgiving concrete wall.
Darrell run 53 laps, but 2/3 of them been on the caution. I don't think anybody would come to pit road unless you're at the very back of the pack.
Oh, no, I'm out. I'm staying out.
And Mark Green's problems confirmed as the engine locking up. So he is done for the day.
Now, I mean, as far as the driver's concerned, I'm out. Now, if my crew chief said, pit, you know me, I wouldn't argue with him or anything. I'd just come on in and...
Now, Jeff Hammond, what do you think's going on with this guy? 1 week he wants 4 tires. 1 week he wants to stay out. He can't make his mind up what he wants on this.
Well, it's a different week, man. Every week it's something. You know, we're at Bristol. We're not at Darlington.
Michael Waltrip, the 99 car, he is going to get the pit road, see if they can fix their steering problem. He's on pit road, about the only one that's pitted.
But my point was, I would not argue with my crew chief.
Since when? Since when, Darrell? Well, Michael was back where he didn't have a whole lot of track position left to give up. Matt's there.
He was talking on the radio as Michael leads a 2-tire stop for the 99 car. He was talking on the radio that, you know, I actually felt the same sensation with the steering in happy hour, and I forgot to say something about it. My bad. They're going to try to ride it out and see if they can figure out what's wrong with this 99 car.
All right, watch the upper right of your screen, and let's see if we can see what happened to Rich Bickle.
There you see Bickle right there in the 59 car.
Yeah, he went in turn 1 and it looked like something happened to the right front. The car just went straight up the racetrack. He was trying to whoa it up, but he hit that outside retaining wall.
Now he keeps that car way up on the banking and out of further harm's way. And then after the field was caught up by the caution car, he rolled it down into the garage area. You see Bickle's still in the car as they see if maybe they can get it repaired.
All right, Michael Waltrip in the 99, he come back to pit road to get his two left sides. The problem is, under caution, if you're at the back of the pack, you almost don't have time to get to pit road and just barely change two tires before the pace car is going to trap you.
And you can't get four tires here unless you're up near the front. But let me tell you his problem. His steering box is locking up on the car. I've had it happen here before. You drop the air pressure down in the tires a lot lower than what recommended is, and all of a sudden you put extra load on that steering box, and the thing starts sticking on you. And they make a special box for Bristol and Dover, and he must not have one.
We might be able to get a good look at his steering box here as they've now removed all the front end sheet metal.
Very familiar sight at Bristol.
Yeah, that's not all bad at Bristol.
No.
I mean, that car is not as bad as it looks. It'll still run well. Might even run better than it did before.
It looked cool, those front tires right there. And that Oak loves those cool front tires turning here. Make that car turn good.
That's what I'm telling you. It's not about downforce and all that trick stuff here.
But seriously, Darrell, now trying to drive this car with air getting under the front of the tire, with no air pushing down on the nose, how tough is it going to be to drive that?
He's got 36 degrees of banking to hold him, so he don't have to worry about all that.
All right, 57 laps complete. Fourth caution of the day here at Bristol Motor Speedway on FX. Welcome back to Bristol, where they have the fourth caution of the day cleaned up, and we're a lap from going green. How steep is a 36-degree banking? Well, don't drop anything.
Now look, these guys have got helmets on. That tells you there might be a little danger involved. Here goes this broom, and I believe if I had a helmet, I'd put a rope on that thing, so if it got loose, I could pull it back.
36 degrees. That's 3 degrees steeper than our fastest speedway at Talladega.
Yes, sir.
I'm surprised that truck can park up there. But we're now set to go back to green. We apologize for the lack of scoring info on our Fox ticker across the top of the screen. As soon as we have a data reception established, we'll try to bring that to you. But Kevin Harvick has led every lap. Ryan Newman is second. Matt Kenseth third. Fourth now, Todd Bodine. Fifth, Kenny Wallace. Sixth, Jimmy Johnson. Then Greg Biffle, Tim Fedewa. Then the 18 of Jeff Purvis. Then Elton Sawyer, Randy LaJoy, and Jay Sauter and Jeff Green as we go back under the green flag.
We saw the 37 car. Kevin Grubb was not up there this time because he made his lap up on that last caution flag. He's back on the lead lap. Harvick just rockets out in front of Ryan Newman as they go down the backstretch.
Ashton Lewis back in the race. Good clean restart this time. And those clouds looking more and more foreboding.
Yeah, and that's bad news again, because bad enough here, you know, when you got to race each other in the track, then they got people hollering about it might rain anytime, so then they got to really pick it up.
Of course, it's 250 laps. We got to get to lap 125 before it's an official race, regardless of what the weather does.
Yep, we're at a quarter distance right now.
You can see all the dark clouds in behind the speedway here.
It wasn't that long ago. There wasn't a cloud in the sky.
Oh, no. No, this storm system came in fast.
Well, it's at Bristol. What do you expect? Everything comes in fast here, except it's hard to get transmission here, electronic transmission, because you got all these metal grandstands, and we're down in a bowl here, and that's why our scoring probably isn't working.
Todd Bodine in the 00 car right there. Remember, won 2 races this year. Asked Todd if this car had been run this year. He said, even though I've won 2, I've tore everything else up, Jeannie.
Well, guys, Todd Bodine's crew made a right front A-frame change this morning, and it's making the car loose off the turns. It's a change Todd wishes they wouldn't make, because he can't really get back on the gas as hard and early, and they can't fix that now, but they're going to try to make whatever adjustments they can during the pit stop. They're waiting for Harvick to pit, obviously.
Christian Elder down on the inside of turn number 1. Second time he's been involved in a caution flag. This is the 5th caution of the day at lap 67. The record is 14.
And we are closing in a hurry.
Looks like Tim Sauter in that 61 car may have got his lap back.
Yes, he did. Harvick slowed down over on the back. I think that puts everybody back on the lead lap.
You saw David Green there, who was penalized on his caution flag pit stop for the pit crew being over the wall too soon. So there's Sauter, and here's your leader, Kevin Harvick. Steve Burns.
We heard Matt Kenseth radio his crew, Mike, and he's a little worried about the rain, but he's also worried about a loose race car. They may pit. They're loose. They're going to make an adjustment on the track bar. They'll come down half a round. They're going to add a half a pound to both left side tires, and they may pull a spring rubber out of that right rear spring. So a lot of changes on Matt Kenseth.
All the leaders are on pit road. Kevin Harvick, the 2 pulled off. Everybody follows him.
Here we go. Boogity, boogity. Little action in the pits.
You know, Bobby Hamilton Jr. stays out to lead a lap, but that may turn out to be a good move. Jeannie?
Todd Bodine going to take 4 tires, and as I mentioned, problems with that A-frame. They're going to lower the track bar a 1/4 inch. They're going to leave the air pressure exactly as is. Steve?
Kevin Harvick's hit in the 2 car. Jeannie, right side tires have gone on. No chassis adjustment to the number 2 car of Kevin Harvick. Matt Kenseth in right behind him. Left side tires on Kenseth right behind Kevin Harvick, but Harvick beats him out.
I tell you one thing, a lot better pit stop today for Todd Bodine. First time he's come in and gone out with everybody this year.
That's right, Dick Berggren.
Well, Ryan Newman did reasonably well. He had a 17.6-second pit stop. They took a round of wedge out of the left rear. That ought to help it turn a little bit better in the corner. But the pit stop that was long, that was near me, was for Greg Biffle. They did a lot of work to the right front corner of that car. It's all pushed in. He is going to have to come back in again. Biffle, thought to be a contender to win this thing, is having trouble with a pushed-in fender, and the car is very loose. To Matt Yoakum.
Jeff Green came in the 10 car. A 4 tire stop. They made a track bar adjustment. A little bit of trouble on the left rear during your stop. So a little bit of a lengthy stop for Jeff Green.
Jimmy Spencer did not pit.
And I think that's a great move right now for him. I've been watching him, and he's had a fast car. He's made a lot of passes. Now he's leading the race. He's going to be tough.
He's gambling on Mother Nature. Lyric, you said you can go 150 laps here on a tank of fuel. And if this race were to rain after 125, would you stay out that long?
I don't know if I'd have stayed out on that one. You know, again, this is a great tire Goodyear's got here. It's the same tire we run at Vegas, we run at Darlington, we run at Rockingham. You see right here, the track temperature has cooled down a little bit. The air temperature is coming down. You know, weather's definitely in the area. We had mentioned Bobby Hamilton Jr. stayed out, but where we got to see, what we got to remember, we have 2 pit roads here. We have 21 pits on the front stretch. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is pitting on the back stretch. That's the reason that he led down the front stretch, but he pulled in his pits. But again, Jimmy Spencer in that 1 car has decided to stay out. I'm not sure about that strategy.
Well, but he was so far back that he made up a lot of track position there.
There's the front pits right there, 21 pits. Over here's the back pit road. The rest of the cars pit over there, and we've normally found it to be a disadvantage pitting over on the back stretch. I know in Winston Cup there's only been about 2 races won in the last several years. Davey Allison in 1990, Dale Earnhardt a few years ago. Gets a little bit tough to win from back there.
125 laps would complete this race. 72 on the board.
Andy Santerre sitting there in 2nd place. Now, we haven't seen him much this year. I think this is only his 2nd race. And he's a good short track racer, too.
Boy, that flag is right out straight in the wind. Yeah, Santerre from Cherryfield, Maine with a new deal this year.
And there's a lot of guys that are good short track racers, half-mile, 5/8 mile track racers that really don't like super speedways, don't like to go 190 mile an hour. Andy probably falls into that category.
Santerre is making only his 2nd start of the season.
David Green trying to get back up here by Spencer and see if he can get that lap back, because he had a fast car. I don't know what it had problems in the pit.
All right, 73 laps complete this time. Let's go back under green. Jimmy Spencer, Andy Santerre, Chad Chapman, Brad Baker, Michael Waltrip, and then Kevin Harvick.
Spencer gets a good start, so does Santerre.
See Kevin Harvick in the 2 car. He's the first car out there he's running in 6th right now, 5th now, that pitted a while ago. Here he's trying to get underneath the 25 car, Chad Chapin. 17 car, Matt Kenseth following him through there, trying to get him trapped on the high side.
Yeah, pitting in was a good move, Larry, because those guys are already back up in the top 5 with 4 fresh tires. So obviously a good time to pit.
Outside. See the damage on Chad Chapin's car from that first incident of the day.
We're going to get a battle for the lead here, looks like. Andy Santerre, that 01 car, he's wanting that lead right now. Pulls to the inside of Jimmy Spencer down the back.
Hard to make that pass.
Trouble turn 1. 11 cars are piled up in in the first corner.
And our champion's up in the middle of it.
Bobby Hamilton Jr., Mike McLaughlin is there, Shane Hall, Jeff Green, Mike Dillon, Kevin Grubb, and the 36 of Hank Parker.
Green's car is wiped out.
I saw 2 of our top 5 in points in that wreck. Of course, Jeff Green, who's leading the points of the 20 car, Mike McLaughlin, he was in 5th in points.
Look at this. Is, believe it or not, this is Bobby Hamilton
I don't
Jr.'s
know who
car.
that is.
It's Hamilton, or what's left of it.
That looks like a Dr. Pepper candy got squished.
Oh, that one's already been to the recycling center.
They'll get that sheet metal pulled off there. They'll make sure them tires are straight. They'll get back out there. There may be a few laps down. That thing's got Bristol road all over it.
Jeff Green climbing out.
Over the top of other cars. That's a tough break for him.
He's had a top 10 finish every race coming into Bristol so far this year. Well, what happened?
Oh, we got a whole gaggle of cars going down into turn 1. Whoa.
Oh, Green got turned around by Jeff Purvis.
Jeff Purvis got into the back of Green and just turned
Look at Greg Biffle, the 60 car. There's the reason Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s car, the 26, is tore up. Biffle just drove across the top of it.
He's like a can opener. He went up over the top and just tore his car apart.
Scott Wimmer was involved. Didn't see him the first time through. Watch the 0-2 of Ryan Newman. He gets tapped.
Oh, he keeps her straight, though. Stayed in the throttle the whole time, it looked like.
You know, that may be what started this mess back here. These guys saw Newman going crazy down the front, probably checked up a little bit, and then somebody rammed into the back of somebody, and this is what you get.
And that happens here all the time. Somebody checks up and ends up getting 8, 9, 10 cars involved.
From Purvis looking back at Hamilton.
Bam. Oh, man. And then watch Biffle.
Oh.
Wow. Bobby Hamilton could have checked out what gear Biffle had, what springs he had, and everything else, because he was riding up under his car. What a mess.
From Hank Parker.
I believe when we watch this, here comes cars off the corner. Down the front. Now, see the 0-2? He gets all wiggly.
That's way in front of this group right here.
But I believe that stacked everybody up. I believe when they saw him moving around, it stacked everybody up, and that's what started all this. I think Mr. Green may not be real happy with Mr. Purvis right at this time.
Dick Berggren?
Jeff Green, a demolished race car. You're okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
What happened?
I don't know, Dick. You tell me. Somebody got bottled up in front of us, and I hit whoever's in front of me. I clipped him a little bit, but we're going to be all right. And then here we go wide. I got wide open from the back, but what you get when you qualify 18th, I guess. But our car was pretty good. We were going to get up through there, but you can never pass guys if you only run 5 or 6 laps and somebody wrecks. You know, you never can get anybody wore down, but so much for the points lead.
Now, he's in good shape. He's okay. That's more important than the points lead, Mike.
Thanks, Dick. There were at least 10 cars involved in that accident, most of which will not return to the racetrack.
And that cat had some hot chocolate wrote all over him.
We will be back to Bristol. Wow. Right after this. Welcome back to Bristol. 83 laps complete. 10 cars were involved in that crash in turn 1. Jeff Green appeared to get the worst of it. There is what's left of his Ford. Mike Dillon, Bobby Hamilton Jr., that's Hamilton's car, incredibly returning to the racetrack. Jeff Purvis will not be back out. There's Greg Biffle, and Dick Berggren is caught up with Purvis.
Jeff Purvis, what happened to you out there?
I don't know. My spotter said everybody's checking up, and about the time he said that, I got into the back of the 10 car. I couldn't actually see what was going on in front of him, and it just, you know, it's just Bristol. Sometimes you love it, sometimes you hate it.
How wild was it out there?
My car wasn't very good at the very first, but, you know, I had a good car. I think MBNA was going to have a good finish right here, and I can't say it was very wild. I mean, that's the first little bit of a problem I had. I just didn't start off very good, but well, I just hate this. It seems like every time I start up front, I end up in this kind of trouble right here, and when I start in the back, I run good. So I just hate it for Joe Gibbs and the whole racing crew. Bad day.
All right, we'll see you next week in Texas.
Mike Dillon's car also badly damaged. They continue to work on it, as well as Purvis's car. They're being worked on behind the wall. The 11 of Marty Houston and the 20 of Mike McLaughlin threaded their way through the tail end of that, but Shane Hall was involved. Greg Biffle, Scott Wimmer's car, the front end of his car is all torn up, and 36 Hank Parker Jr. You saw his in-car view. It happened at lap 76. We've now run 8 laps under caution. There's the damage to Wimmer.
And I say Biff will probably be held even longer in the pit because he passed a whole bunch of cars to get to pit lane, and you can't do that. So making matters worse.
Add Tony Raines and Ashton Lewis to the list of cars that were involved down there in turn 1.
I've seen that flag more than I have any others.
Repairs continue on Biffle's Taurus. Well, someone will win this race. Who was the first driver to win a Busch race on the concrete surface of Bristol Motor Speedway? That is our Pep Boys trivia question for today, and we'll give you this next commercial break to ponder the answer.
Look at that thing here jump around.
This one. Here's why we're under caution.
Come on over. Oh, take on. Oh,
let's go. So, who was the first driver to win a Busch race on the concrete?
1992 was the year.
Do we have to go to the hint book?
In August of 92, maybe Winston Cup driver.
Todd Bodine.
Todd Bodine?
Wow.
Wow.
Give me a hint, though, Mike.
Only a little one. All right, let's get ready to go back to green. Dick Berggren.
One to go, one to go.
An amazing amount of work going on here. Jeff Green's crew trying to repair a car that for all practical purposes is absolutely demolished. They have not given up, however. Meanwhile, Mike Dillon's crew working hard on this one. Dillon's still in the medical center. Mike Skinner, Winston Cup driver, just here. He ran off to get his helmet in case Dillon doesn't feel well enough to get back at it. We're going green.
Half the field has been involved in one or more cautions. Jay Sauter won't be around for this restart. They're pushing his car down pit road. Andy Santerre from Maine, graduate of the Busch North Series, is your leader. He has Jimmy Spencer right behind him and Michael Waltrip.
David Green, that 34 car, trying to get his lap back. He's going to get shuffled back to the 3rd position, though.
Raindrops on the glass.
And the reason Michael Waltrip, the 99 car, is up here, just remember, wasn't that long ago, he was at the back of the field. Remember, he pitted under the caution before all the leaders pitted, stayed out on that last caution when everybody pitted, ended up in 3rd position.
Yeah, but his car's not very good, and he's getting passed by most all the guys that have already pitted, so he's still not in very good shape.
You're riding with Kevin Harvick as Newman went way up the racetrack, or rather, you're riding with Kenny Wallace there.
Newman got in there a little hot, and the car took off on him. Man.
A little bit of bump draft.
Elton
Sawyer in the 98 car said, come on, man, the rain's coming. I got to go.
Yeah, that T on his hood stands for Tennessee, not for T-Bone.
Well, if they can get sorted out a little bit, maybe we can get some green flag racing going on here.
The 57 car there now, Jason Keller, remember, he come into the race 2nd points behind his teammate.
Oh, trouble. Turn 1 down here, guys.
Brad Baker's in.
Oh,
Larry Foyt just misses him. We stay green, though. No caution.
That's a good thing. We don't need any more cautions.
Racing the rain, 30 more laps to halfway. There's Jason Keller inside Ryan Newman. Uh-oh. Sawyer took the high road, and he gets passed by Tony Raines on the inside.
Well, once you get shoved up, like we say, it's just hard to get back down in line without really taking a chance.
Chad Little goes past. I'll show you again what happened.
Here's what happens to Brad Baker. Going down into turn 1, he gets a little bit of help.
Oh, yeah.
It's Kelly Denton in the 77 car.
And from onboard, Hank Parker.
What happened? Looks like the 77 car got down on that apron, got his car jumped up. That's how he got into the
Well, he thought Brad Baker was going to give him enough room to get in there, and that happens so many times. You're going so fast, you try to get down under a guy, get on the apron, slam up into him.
Todd Bodine, 00, working his way back up through. He just passed Kenny Wallace.
Battle for 8th position right there.
Boy, here we are inside. Look at, watch this guy. I mean, this tells you how short these straightaways are. Fighting that steering wheel all the time here. Never relaxing, never, ever relaxing. Up on the wheel, up off the corner, back to the right, back to the left. Cars hopping around all the time.
Spin in turn 1. Christian Elder has gone around, and Elton Sawyer has spun. Caution is out this time. Sawyer spun off turn 2. It was 2 separate incidents.
I think Christian Elder has spun out like that maybe the 4th time since this race started.
Kevin Grubb, 37 car, going to get another one of his laps back.
Seven cautions, halfway to the record. It's not one of those records we like to break or even talk about, but Elton Sawyer spin at turn 1, and then Christian Elder. Let's have a look here. Sawyer 98.
Here he comes. Oh, Kelly Denton.
Kelly Denton got another one.
Said, I tried this before and it worked. Let me try it again. And I guess Elder probably checked up back here behind these guys, and he got turned around.
Again from Hank Parker, right behind Denton. And
well, that is so uncalled for. There's just no reason for Kelly Denton to be doing something like that.
around goes Elton Sawyer.
Sometimes, you know, things happen, and we don't get to see all that happens, and the guy gets mad at a guy, and that's kind of like a little message or a little payback, if you will. I don't know that that's the case, but that looked awfully uncalled for.
Denton's car shows little damage. He picked up a new sponsor for this race, and they have a big group of underprivileged kids as guests of the sponsor here at the Speedway up in one of the suites across the way, watching local driver Kelly Denton. Let's go down to Dick Berggren for more on our race leader, Andy Santerre.
Well, Santerre's got a terrific race car, as is evidenced by the fact that he's leading this thing, but he had a terrible time trial, qualified 29th, and that meant he had to pit out in the backstretch. So I asked Stan Meserve, his crew chief, this morning, what are you going to do to try to win the race? Meserve's plan, stay out long, maybe longer than anybody else, pit late, pit later than anybody else, and then maybe take just 2 tires and see how it works. He said he's got no other choice. It's the only way he could win the race, so that's what they're doing. To Jeannie Zalasko.
Well, Dick, it sounds like similar strategy for the one car as well. Jimmy Spencer, they've been getting some great gas mileage out of all of these cautions, so they're just trying to stay out as long as they can. They were thinking about coming in pitting now, and they said, nope, there's a threat of rain. Let's stay out here. Let's keep working it.
We're extending this caution. Now, Mike Dillon is going to be taken to a local hospital for precautionary x-rays. And as this track does not have a tunnel, he exits at the crossover at turn 3. So we're under yellow at lap 104. Andy Santerre leading Jimmy Spencer, Kevin Harvick, and Matt Kenseth. Andy Santerre from Maine, who owns 1 Busch Grand National victory, is going to lead them down for the restart in the Cheeze It 250. Here we go. Green flag.
Sawyer tried to get a jump on him, realized he was going before the leader and had to slow down. And he gets a back out in front, and Elton Sawyer's got a good race car. He just got turned around down here by Denton.
Gives Santerre a little breathing room to Jimmy Spencer.
He's the rock between a couple of hard places right now.
There comes Kevin Harvick, though. Got those 4 fresh tires in that 2 car right there in 3rd position right now, wanting to get back to the front before this weather might move in. Matt Kenseth in the 17 car right there behind him in 4th position.
Oh, headache man, Jimmy Johnson's running 5th there, guys. He got a pretty good looking hot rod, too.
Michael Waltrip 6th. Todd Bodine 7th. Kenny Wallace 8th.
The 92 car, that's actually a backup car. He crashed his primary car right out of the truck yesterday, Dick Berggren.
Well, we just heard from Jimmy Johnson. We thought at first he was telling his crew that he's sick in the car. We were afraid he was going to have to leave. What he was really saying is he's sick of all the caution flags. race car, and he wants to stand green.
Well, we agree.
Yeah, we're sick of them too. It usually takes about, I don't know, 50, 60 laps to sort everything out. There's 43 cars on this half-mile racetrack. That's too many cars for this little racetrack. So you got to eliminate some of them so you get some room to race.
And now it looks like we've got a little room to race. There's a couple like Greg Biffle limping around the inside, but for the most part, the field's got a little bit of room here.
And a slow car here is absolutely treacherous to drive because you're always getting somebody on your back bumper and you don't know which way to go.
And you're trying to be out there to accumulate points. Stay out of the way. There is no place to get out of the way.
Yeah, you take a kid like Brad Baker. He wrecked down here, but he's never run here before. He needs laps. He needs to be out here riding around.
But the only place out of the way is up on the truck.
It ain't even safe fair sometime. Oh,
Kevin Grubb got turned around and into the wall.
Oh,
and
Kelly
Dent just misses it.
Caution is out again.
And we got cars that are racing back to the flag. Here they come. Here comes David Green.
And Elton Sawyer going to get a lap back from Andy Santerre.
And David Green was 3 laps down, so now he's 2 laps down, but Elton Sawyer gets back on the lead lap.
8th caution, lap 116. Kevin Grubb did have some help. He was in a heavy knot of traffic. I know Chad Chapin got up into him, but I think what happened in front of Chad Chapin. Here's a look.
Here he comes off the corner and he gets a little nudge. He gets to doing the hospital wobble down the back here.
Watch Kelly Denton in the 77 car coming in here, spins, just barely misses him. He's coming out of turn 2 right here.
So he gets up a little high. Chad Chapin gets a run under him. Just nicks him in the left rear. Here he goes.
And, you know, you're so on the edge here, all it takes is just a little bump to get you out of shape and knock you into the outside wall like that.
Well, particularly when you come off there with just a little on the high side and you get a little dirt on your tires and you're already a little bit out of control. And somebody nudging you, this is the end result.
Now, this is different from the last spin because it's not as if Chad Chapin got up into Kevin Grubb to spin him. It looked like Grubb lost his forward bite coming off the corner.
Grubb just got up a little high, and he probably had to squeeze out the throttle a little bit. Chapin had a run on him. They just kissed each other ever so slightly, and around he goes.
All right, now, does Andy Santerre and Jimmy Spencer pit?
Jimmy Spencer is coming to pit road. I mean, we're almost halfway through this thing. He's on pit road, and we're going to have 1 to go, so these guys are going to have to hustle.
Jeannie?
Well, the 1 car comes in with a little problem with the transmission. They say they're going to be okay, but it's smoking just a little bit. So far, it's been running great. They told me they could go a 70+ more laps if this caution wouldn't have come out. But they will take 4 tires, make a pressure adjustment, and fill her up as well. Gentlemen?
Well, we're no longer racing the rain, so it's safe for Spencer to give up that track position and come in, but now he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, we got 21 cars on the lead lap. He's going from 2nd to 21st here with just a little over halfway of this race to go. Sometimes it's good to be off sync. Sometimes it can put you in a little bit of a hole.
Yeah, I'm sure that the 01 was wanting to come in, but you got to remember, he's pitting on the back straightaway. Probably didn't have the chance. Afraid to take the chance.
Matt?
Go to Matt.
Well, the problem for the 01 of Andy Santerre, they're having trouble with radio communication, so they're having to do the old hand signals like you did back in the 70s and 60s. They're going to try to go to halfway before they pit.
Andy Santerre leads Kevin Harvick on the restart.
Boy, Harvick got a run off turn 2 right there. Remember, he's got those fairly full fresh tires. Puts them on the back of Santerre right here off turn 4. He wants that lead back.
Santerre's got a pretty good hot rod, though, to be able to hold those guys off. He hadn't been in the pits, and his car looks as good as anybody's out there right now.
Dick mentioned his crew chief, Stan Meserve, who was one of the state of Maine's great drivers and actually ran Winston Cup in the early 70s in a Dodge.
He's doing a great job right now because we know Kevin Harvick's got a fast car. He hadn't, I figured he'd blow right around Santerre, but he hadn't. One thing he does have to know is that they're letting Matt Kenseth catch up with him.
Greg Biffle, he's had to come back to pit road, still trying to get repairs done on that car of his.
He's going behind the wall. He's just about, I think he's had it.
Matt Kenseth is in the picture in this battle for the lead.
Well, when this race started, Larry and I said, you know, the winner will come out of those first 4 cars. 2 of those 4 are right up there fighting for the lead right now.
In fact, 6 of the last 10 winners has been won from the top 3 starting position. Just shows you what starting up front's worth.
And you look at the front cars there, they're not all beat up like these other cars are. They're in pretty good shape, not a mark on them. Of course, it's got a long way to go yet.
Well, Harvick's there in the rocking chair between the other 2 leaders as we watch this 4th place battle. Todd Bodine slices inside of Jimmy Johnson.
Actually, Santerre is holding up these other 2 cars right now, which he should be. That's allowing some of these other cars like Todd to close up.
We've completed halfway, so this race will be official today. Whether or not rain comes in.
Actually, it's improved some. I don't think that's going to be a problem. That's not my job. I mean, that's Larry's job to predict the weather.
I would never try to predict the weather at Bristol.
Unless, of course, you're right. Randy LaJoie goes past Michael Waltrip, who again struggles to keep his car down on the racetrack.
I think Michael was pretty much riding on those 4 new tires he got there earlier. Once they go off, he's going to be in trouble.
Here comes Jason Keller, started back in the 28th position. He's going to take the position as well.
Yeah.
Talked to Jason Keller this morning, and he said, look, we got a good race set up. We just need to work on our qualifying. Kevin Harvick still trying to get by Andy Santerre. Darrell, he's running the high line or up a little higher than Kevin Harvick right there in the middle of the corner, and he's getting a good run off. This is Andy Santerre's crew. They want some rain right now.
And look at those quarter panels on that 01 car and see what you see.
Nothing.
Nothing. And you know that's coming out of his pocket. And here he is leading the race. That's a big, big thrill for a guy like that.
Santerre Reese Motorsports, new team formed this year to run a partial schedule.
Andy got hurt at Daytona a couple of years ago, and it took him a while to come back. He just decided he didn't like to run the bigger racetracks. He likes the smaller racetracks, and I admire him for that. He said, I just never felt comfortable there. Whoop, got caught behind Christian Elder.
Whoa.
Man.
He just barely got back in front of Kevin Harvick.
But I tell you, Harvick, now that shows maturity.
Yes.
A year ago, Harvick would have nailed it because he would have not had the patience to let him in. Today, he knows he's got a better car. He knows he's got fresher tires. Let the cat in.
For more, here's Steve.
Hey, Darrell, interesting comment down here. Kevin Harvick radioed the crew, and he wanted to know who was driving the 01 car. He didn't know what to expect from him, so now he knows he's a significant racer. He'll give him a little more respect, but certainly, like you said.
Yeah, well, don't feel bad. I heard the 01 call in one know who was driving the 2 cars. So that's kind of how many new drivers are on the circuit nowadays.
Let's show you that squeeze play getting around the lap car of Christian Elder. Harvick has a run here. Wow.
That's what you call give and take, and this is a give and take racetrack.
There was no reason to force the issue. Give the guy a break. It'll pay off later on.
Jeff Hammond.
One of the things I'd like to talk about right now is the 2 guys that were sitting behind Andy Santerre have a right to be patient. They know that before too long, the 01 car is going to have to come in, and if he has to come in under green, it's going to run his day.
Look who's done moved into this picture right here, though, behind Matt Kenseth in that old 00, that old buckshot car. Todd Bodine, he's done moved up here on these guys.
And as many cautions as you have here early on, you do get into a run where there are no cautions, and you'll go for a long time through the middle of the race with no cautions.
Todd Bodine in 00, he caught these guys in a hurry.
Boy, Santerre shot out. That's him at the top of the screen. He has shot out to a great big lead, too. But, like you say, where's he going to go? He's going to have to pit sooner or later.
And work to the bottom.
He's probably good for about 30 more laps, maybe a few more, but about 30 more laps.
I'm not sure Bodine is going to be as patient.
He never has been.
He caught these boys in a hurry, but see, Matt Kenseth in the 17, they're right around the bottom there, and it's hard to pass on the high side here.
He'll let him go right here. Got to let him go.
We'll see Todd Bodine wants to come practice after today's race on FX. Well, we're at 138 laps. We are past halfway. Andy Santerre continues to lead in the Cheeze It 250 at Bristol Motor Speedway. Kevin Harvick, who led the early laps, has fought his way back up to 2nd. Todd Bodine is 3rd, Matt Kenseth 4th, Jimmy Johnson, Tim Speedway, and Randy LaJoie. We'll be right back. Andy Santerre has just surrendered the lead to Kevin Harvick. Got a little high coming out of turn 2, approaching a lap car, and Harvick took advantage.
Kelly Denton was there, and Santerre knew he had to go around him, but he had to go around him on the outside, got up a little high off the 2, and opened the door.
One other
other thing, guys, we need to worry about, we talked about Andy Santerra's situation, is his crew have not run that many races this year. And again, pitting on the back straightaway, even though he can keep that car up close to the front, it's a situation where they got to get on off pit road. And Matt, I believe you have some more on that.
The thing for Andy Santerra, he knows he's got confidence in this over-the-wall group. This is actually Kenny Wallace's pit crew from the Winston Cup Series. But Stan Meservis did say, be very cautious, take your time, do it right. We don't want to make any mistakes that will cost us. They would like to pit around lap 160 to 165, and they think they might be able to stretch it to 180. They're still talking about it on the radio.
That's about 15 to 20 laps from now.
He has no choice but to run the thing out of gas, because if he pit under green, you're going to lose 2 laps. So he's kind of in a box right now.
Well, Jimmy Johnson right there in the 92 car, he was running 5th. Randy LaJoy in the 7 went by him right there, kicked him up, and Tim Fiedler in the 66 car took the position, kicked him all the way back to 7th position.
For more on Jimmy Johnson, here's Dick.
Recent Jimmy Johnson dropping back. The car is tight. They just told him when he comes in and takes the next set of tires, they'll fix it. Only 2 sets of tires allowed today under caution. Johnson's still got 1 more. He hopes that'll fix the car.
Well, we've been caution-free now for almost 50 laps.
And I think the 150-something lap tires on Andy Santerra are taking a toll right now. He just lost the 3rd position to the 17 car, Matt Kenseth.
He did, Larry, but he's keeping those guys in check. And the problem he's going to have at the end of the day, he's going to have a brand new set of tires laying in the pits. And that's going to be a bad thing.
But this says a lot. Yeah, it says a lot for Andy Santerra. It says a lot for that race car, but it says a lot for the tire that Goodyear has brought here. It's no longer a custom-made tire to the racetrack. It's a tire that's been run in 4 of the 6 races, so that says a lot for the tire they brought here.
Matt?
We talked earlier, Larry, about the radio communication problems for Andy Santerra and his crew. He does have intermittent radio traffic back and forth between his crew chief, Stan Meservis. He did say that the car is getting a little more loose up off the corners. He's just trying to hold on. And they will make a radio swap during their final pit stop coming up.
Chances are, if he's having radio problems with his crew chief, a guy he's probably having radio problems with that's very important to him is his spotter up there.
But the last thing you want to do is mess with the radio on the green flag pit stop.
Right.
Put the tires on it, stick some gas in it, get the thing out of the pits. Don't be doctoring around on with the
radio. If he gets 4 tires, he knows what he needs to do for the rest of the race.
Right.
Marty Houston, who was involved in that big 10-car fracas, as was Mike McLaughlin. Now locked up in a battle with Tim Sauter, 61.
Mike McLaughlin has a pretty good-looking car. He's got in that wreck, but he's been able to make his way back toward the front. He better step on it, though, because the leaders ain't too far behind.
Another of those sponsor-wanted deals on McLaughlin.
Yeah, I talked to one of his guys this morning on that race car. You see it's got JoeGibbsRacing.com. If they can get a sponsor that would be long-term for, say, 2002, 2003, they'll almost give them the rest of this year and even put some associate sponsorship on the Winston Cup cars of Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart. They said, we just don't know. Well, he gets in the back of Marty Houston here off turn 2.
We stay green as Houston spins down to the
Come on, we got to have
the
caution. Let's go here.
And we do. Caution is out. 9th one today. At lap 163.
I wouldn't have had one for Andy. He needs a caution. This plays right into his game plan.
Talking about Andy Santerra, who was leading this race.
You got to admit, he's an underdog, guys. I mean, he's got no sponsors. His 2nd race of the year, and here he's up here trying to win a race. It's a pretty big deal.
This is going through turn 3 and turn 4 here. Mike McLaughlin in the 20 car was just talking about, gets back to that throttle, just gets in the back of Marty Houston in 11. Tim Sauter right there in the 61 having a checkup, getting down on the apron as well.
Which way's he going to go? Which way's he going to go? Which way?
Got the wheels cut right.
I'm going to go. I'm going to stay down here.
Safest place.
That's right. Because sometimes they'll catch, they'll hook and shoot right back out in the racetrack. That's what these guys sitting here behind him are waiting to see. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go?
And the spotter has no idea where
the spotter's breathless.
They like to say on that oldie station, the hits just keep on coming.
I shouldn't say he was breathless. He was speechless.
All all of the leaders is back on pit road, Jeannie Elasco.
Boy, speechless is what Todd Bodine has been. The 00 on the radio. Everything's been going real well. He's picked up a lot of time, as you might have noticed. He's going to take 4 tires, a pressure adjustment, and some fuel, but that's it.
Right side tires already on for Kevin Harvick. Matt Kenseth is right behind him on a 17. This is going to be a race off pit road. Both taking 4 tires. They pull a spring rubber out of Matt Kenseth's car, and that means Harvick beats him out. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Andy Santerre hasn't won a Busch Series race since July of 1999, a 4-tire stop. He can talk to them, but he cannot hear what his crew is telling him. So a lot of hand signals as he was driving by. They're making the radio swap, sticking the radio in the car, peeling away one of the tearaways. There he goes. Andy's down and away. He drops out the bad radio, and he's back out on the track.
If that radio wasn't bad, it is now.
That's exciting. Exciting bunch.
Jeannie.
Boy, speaking of bad guys, the 00 black flag for lug nuts. 2 fell off of that left front tire. He had to come back in.
Well, these guys, they've had fast race cars all year long, but they've had more problems on pit road than you can imagine.
This is a different crew.
They changed pit crew.
This is his Winston Cup crew.
Gosh, is that Jeff Purvis's car or what's left of it? Back in the race, it is.
Yes, it is.
This is his Winston Cup crew right here.
Yep. Well, we're under caution again, folks. Big surprise. 9th one of the day at lap 166. We'll have more NASCAR Busch Racing on FX right after this. Welcome back to the Cheeze It 250 on FX. On the restart, Kevin Harvick made a quick move. Too quick, the NASCAR officials adjudged, and he is being given the black flag.
I got to see this again. I'm not sure what happened. Let's see this and see if we can figure out what happened.
98's the tail end of the lead
Here's
lap.
the 2
7
back
is
here.
The leader. 7's
a leader. You can pass to the right, can't pass to the left.
If the green flag was out, DW, and I got to believe that green flag had to be. We got trouble on the front straightaway.
Oh, Chad Chapin and Mike McLaughlin. McLaughlin back up into traffic, but everybody will get by.
Now, Kevin Harvick was on pit road. He didn't stop in his pits now. He's back on the racetrack. He wouldn't go a lap down there.
Yeah, but I think he may have done a cardinal sin and speeded out of pits. Speeded out of the pits.
Chad Chapin's car is again all torn up.
But let me tell you this, no matter what happens to Harvick, it's better than what was going to happen to him, because he was going to lose at least 1 lap coming in under the green.
At least 1 lap.
Now it could be just a start at the end of the longest line. Well,
here's the incident.
I'm loose.
Got down on that apron, though, had those left side wheels down on that black asphalt.
That's a couple of wrecks for the 25 car today, and then he gets 20 car gets nailed in the rear end.
Yeah, everybody kind of stacked
there you go.
up
57
there.
Gets into the 20. Whoa, 00.
Look at
99. What a. This is a lot of damage to all. This car is damaged badly. So is Michael's.
Everybody's hood's buckled.
Just everybody trying to check up, not knowing where that cat's going to go. Don't know if he's going to come back out in the track or not. And Todd Bodine's taking his car behind the wall.
From Jeff Purvis, who is back in the race just in time to see this.
Purvis just wanted to get out there and give us some good shots. And
I think Todd may have punched the radiator.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. That was a pretty big hit on all those cars that stacked up there.
Now back to the restart. Kevin Harvick was adjudged to have jumped the restart. Steve?
Yeah.
You know, Mike, Darrell Waltrip was exactly right. His crew chief, Todd Barrier, made a heads-up call. He was coming to pit road for his stop-and-go penalty, and Todd told him, go on through, keep going. Then they came back around, and he just received his penalty. So that was a heads-up move on the crew chief's part.
Yeah, I mean, that was a heads-up move, because now when the caution come out, he come back in, and what he'll have to do probably is start at the tail end of the longest line, but he's still on the lead lap. And like you said, Darrell, he could have been 1 or 2 laps down.
Oh, yeah.
So that caution was a blessing for him.
It really was.
And the penalty came because he jumped the green flag for the restart.
Boy, that was...
here's another look.
You can pass on the right side. You can't just drop down to the left over here and pass people. But anytime there's a lane up that outside, I just don't see it. I mean, I guess they got a better angle than I do. There's long as you're on the right side, I was under the impression.
If the green flag is
If the green flag is waving, and that's a spotter call and a crew chief call.
Well, here's another look. See if we can see the starter.
See if we can see the green flag.
Here, the flag's out right there. It's out.
Yeah, there's no way. I don't buy that.
But he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Pass to the right hand side.
He passed to the right side, and the flag was waving.
However, can you make that pass before you cross the start-finish line?
I think you can on the right side. Only on the start of the race. Only on the start of the race can you not pass before you get to the start-finish line. Under a restart, flag comes out, you go.
Speaking of restarts, we're back racing here with Randy LaJoy in that 7 car leading this race.
Matt Kenseth in second. Tim Fedowa up to third. What a great run he's had today.
Now here Randy LaJoy got this lead on that last caution when all the leaders pitted, got 4 tires. Randy LaJoy got 2 tires. He's pulled out here at about a 5-car length lead. That's not bad strategy this late in the race. Track position, track position, track position.
That's bullshit.
Around goes Larry Foyt in the back straightaway. Now that accident started about 9 cars in front of Larry Foyt, and as the field accordioned, he got turned around. Caution is out. Lap 179.
When you have restarts, cautions like this, one right after another, I mean, you just can't get them spread out.
And Mike McLaughlin in the 20 car, he's going to get his lap back here.
Just comes up.
Yep.
Yeah, it just comes up off the corner. And a lot of the times, what you don't know is did he have to pedal out did he have to backpedal a little bit, come up off the throttle, then get hit in the rear end like that?
An unlucky day for Larry Foyt. It puts us under the 11th caution of the day in the Cheeze It 250.
Damn, this traffic jam. Time to get home, my supper.
Welcome back to FX coverage of the Cheeze It 250. Mike Joy with Larry McReynolds and Darrell Waltrip, and we've now had caution flag 11. Larry Foyt getting turned into the backstretch inside wall. I'd recap the caution flags for you folks, but we're only on the air until
we don't have enough time.
No. Randy LaJoy is your leader. Matt Kenseth is second. Tim Fedowa having a great run here in third. Jimmy Johnson is fourth. 11 caution flags today thus far, and looks like we're a lap from going back to green.
And we are zeroing in on that Bristol caution record for the Busch National cars at 14.
It's been the Bristol stomp today, Darrell.
It has, buddy. They've been doing it. The kids in Bristol, they've been sharp as a pistol.
From Hank Parker, looking ahead, and I can't even tell you whose damaged car. Because most of them are. I can tell you, it's Ashton Lewis, that car ahead on the inside line.
There's Kevin Harvick right there in the 2 car. Now he's in 13th position. He's got a good fast race car. But when you restart in 13th position, it's like restarting in 26 because you got 13 lap cars on the inside as well.
Not only that, I mean, there's only, 75 laps or so to go. So got his work cut out. And Kelly Denton's finally, I think they're finally going to.
Yeah, he's going to get a 5-lap vacation.
Bring him in. He may get one of those seats they were talking about earlier today.
He's gone to the penalty box for 5 laps.
Green flag. And Randy LaJoy steps out. Matt Kenseth, though, is right with him.
Kenseth looks to the inside down here down the front stretch. Randy LaJoy, though, washes up in the middle of turn 1 and 2. Kenseth wants that lead right here off turn 2. Got to stay on the bottom of this racetrack, just like he did right there.
It was a good call on LaJoy's part to take 2 tires. I mean, he's leading the race. We've seen when you get out front, almost every week the guy in the front has the best chance of winning the race.
Certainly the best chance of staying out of trouble.
Staying out of trouble, I should say. Obviously, the guy in the front can win the race.
Trouble turn 3. Andy Santerre got turned around by Brad Teague.
Oh, man.
Oh, that looked like a bump 'em and dump 'em.
I think that 75 has been involved in a couple of incidences today.
David Green, Jay Sauter getting their lap back from the leader, Randy LaJoy, there in the 34 and the 43 car.
Boy, but the heartbreak is sitting right there in the turn. Look at this poor guy. Leading the race. Everything going his way.
He was coming back up through the pack. He made it back up to about 10th spot after his pit stop. I'll show you what happened.
He's on the outside here of the 75 car. They just get together, getting down in the turn there. 75's laps down. Well, I'll take that back. He may not. I don't know if it's a 75. I think he was one lap down, not laps
perhaps.
down. Sure, Andy thought he'd probably give him a little room to get in there.
Both of them hard into that outside wall in turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, he backed that thing in there big time.
Let's go back and talk a little about the we'll have another angle, and we'll talk a little about the restart and the penalty to Kevin Harvick for jumping that restart on Randy LaJoie. There goes Santerre in a shower of sparks.
Well, that's unfortunate. Santerre had a great car. Felt like he had a chance to win this race. Things worked out for him.
Look from Hank Parker here.
And again, you just kind of wait. You know those cars are going to come down the hill. This thing is banked so steeply that they just slide back down the track. But the question is when.
According to the rule book, the first car in the lead lap shall be the control car for restarting the race. And that's how the call was made against Kevin Harvick, who was in second at that time. We'll be right back.
Shop at the Bristol, the Bristol stop. Feeling something with the John and jumping when they do the Bristol stop. Down spinning every Friday night. They dancing feathers and they do it right. But it's the
Well, they've tried to stop the wall down here at Bristol, Tennessee, and as a result, we've now had 12 caution flags, this latest one at lap 189. So to pick up where we left off, on that restart situation with Kevin Harvick, the lead car controls the restart. In this case, that is the 7 of Randy LaJoie, and there's LaJoie right behind Elton Sawyer. That he is the control car, and the cars behind are not allowed to get a jump. It's LaJoie to get going to put the field back under green.
But you know, LaJoie, he's not going, and I mean, the rules kind of black and white when they read it to you out of the book. But when this right side out here is wide open, that's your passing lane. You can't pass a guy down on the left side. But when you can go to the right, that's your chance to go. So I understand. It's just, I guess it's one of those balls and strike things.
Let's go to Steve in Harvick's pit.
Todd Berry's the crew chief. What explanation did NASCAR give you, Todd, on that call?
They really didn't give us any explanation. We tried to get them to review it before they penalized us and what have you, but you know, I guess we'll have to review it after the race and just hope it isn't too late, you know. But AC Delco Monte Carlo's been good. He's mad now, so they wanted to see a show like it did in Memphis. We'll probably get the same explanation we got there.
Harvick will restart in 9th place.
Now, that crew chief just came off of probation. Next thing you know, me and him both are going to be on probation.
We're back under green. Randy LaJoie getting roughed up a little by Marty Houston. Jeff?
Darrell, I just want to say, if you're going to go on probation, buddy, I'm going with you. I believe what you're saying is right.
I'm going to say, Jeff, if you and I was Darrell's crew chief, we always going to have the same problem. I was going to tell DW to go.
That's right. We're going, baby.
The green flag comes out. LaJoie didn't go. I mean, you can't come all the way down here waiting on him to go. You're at the point where it says go, and they're waving the green flag. Green means go.
For more on leader Randy LaJoie, here's Dick.
For those who may be wondering why Randy LaJoie just took 2 tires on that last pit stop when almost everybody else took 4, it was for not just track position, but for a strategy that began to develop last night in happy hour. In that final practice session, the crew discovered that the car turned its absolute fastest lap on the oldest tires that they had run. Today, the car has been faster on old tires than it has on brand new ones. So they fired 2, they got track position, and guess what? They're still
Trouble out of turn 4. David Green goes spinning. Everybody else will get by. Now we're still green flag. David Green trying to get refired here. And And he gets down off the racetrack, so
he got some help. He got turned around, but it was another one of those bottleneck situations. Cars got slowed down in front of him. He got hit from behind.
Show you what happened to the 34 of David Green.
Here they go. They're all racing down in here. David Green's up on the outside.
This was a battle right here between Kevin Harvick, the 2 car. Tony Raines, the 33, is a battle for 8th. Kevin Harvick, knowing time's running out, he's trying to motor his way up through there any way he can.
There's LaJoie slides up the racetrack, and Matt Kenseth gets the lead.
And Tim Fedewa takes the 2nd position away from him.
That's called the bump and run. That's the little tap you give a guy, gets him up out of the groove, and he goes up high, and you go right on by.
And Randy LaJoie continues to lose position.
Jimmy Johnson got loose, and he saved it somehow.
He was loose for 500 feet.
He did that in practice or qualifying. We watched him do that and saved it. So he has some practice at that.
He just had taken the 3rd position from Randy LaJoie, got loose down in 3 and 4, and just, I don't know how he saved it.
Well, that tells you he doesn't have a whole lot of grip in that car, because otherwise it would have bit into the racetrack and he might have spun out, but it just kept sliding with him.
How about our guy running in 2nd right here, Tim Fedewa in the 66 car? I talked to him this morning. He's wanting that lead right here off turn 4. He said, Larry, we just have not figured out what we're looking for this year.
Spencer's got trouble. Got cars backed up everywhere in turn 4 here.
Looks like he'll be able to get his car down to pit road.
Oh, got a car spinning. Christian Elton going around right there by him.
He's okay. We're going to stay green. He's going to spin it down off the racetrack. And Spencer could not get to pit road. He's just trying to get around the racetrack. Here come the leaders. They're going to bust their way right through there.
And Spencer can't find a way. He's got an opportunity to get out right here. There he goes.
Yep, Spotter got him down.
We're hearing a report of oil on the racetrack. We saw Jimmy Johnson get loose. We saw Christian Elder spin. It makes you wonder that there is some liquid on the racetrack.
And here's the lead change. Yep.
Yeah, he got loose. And that's the same place that Jimmy Johnson got loose.
I might say that he got a little help getting loose, but I don't know about being oil on the track.
Leaders in heavy traffic again. Shane Hall up the racetrack. They're coming up on the 6th. Rookie Steve Hodgson in the Joe Bessie car, and they make it underneath Hodgson.
I tell you, this place brings out the best in guys. It brings out the worst in guys. It's an incredible track.
And Harvick continues now to battle Tony Raines.
And quite honestly, the whole right side of his car is torn up. When he got involved in that skirmish there a minute ago, it raked the whole right side out of the thing, but fortunately no tires were rubbing, no fenders were rubbing.
He's the 7th place car now.
He's got a little open racetrack in front of him. Ryan Newman there, the 02 car. That's the 6th place car. He wants that position, and we're running out of time.
Give a call to Newman. He had a tough race last week. He's having a really strong race this week.
Well, he is, and he's had to work hard for it, too, because the car hadn't been all that good, but he's done a good job of staying with it. Watch his car. Watch his 92 car. And he gets loose.
It's an incredible save.
Watch his kick. He's sideways. He's sideways. He's in the middle of the corner. He's starting off the corner. I mean, that's the way they run the World of Outlaws around. That's a dirt track car.
It's a miracle how he saved that race car. That was a very controlled slide.
It was, and it's again. It's that car control that really makes the great drivers.
They push Jimmy Spencer behind the wall. He's out of the race. Dick Berggren.
Well, just remember where Jimmy Johnson got his early training in automobile racing. It was in off-road. He was a professional off-road racer at age 15. At age 16, he was on a Chevrolet contract, personal service contract, as an off-road racer. That's how come he can handle a sideways car. He's done it since he was a kid.
He did a heck of a job of it a few laps ago. 34 laps to go in the Cheeze It 250 at Bristol, Tennessee. Will it be Matt Kenseth? Will it be Tim Fedewa? Will it be anybody else who's on the lead lap? We'll come back.
Welcome back live to Bristol, Tennessee. You're watching FX. Don't forget on Fox Sports Net, Totally NASCAR with Steve Burns. He's totally into NASCAR, and you will be too, weeknights at 6 o'clock wherever you are. We have had 12 caution flags, 10 cars officially out of the race, 13 off the track at the moment. The Cheeze It 250 has been fast and furious. It's like bumper cars, Jeff Hammond, at 125 miles per hour.
You're exactly right, Chris. This is nothing but a high-speed Talladega. You got 36 degrees of banking, and these guys are rocking and rolling, and they've been beating and banging on each other today. This is the first short track of the year.
Matt Kenseth, whom you picked in our pre-race show, is currently the leader. Kevin Harvick is down to 7th. And let's get your thoughts on the restart. And we tried to get rule clarification, but Darrell Waltrip says, hey, the mistake was made. He put it in different terms, of course, but shouldn't have been penalized the lap.
Best thing I can tell you right now, guys, what's done is done. We're racing. We don't do any kind of replays or reinstate. So the best thing to do is just don't worry about it and go on. And that's what these guys are doing now.
Mike, Darrell, Larry.
Matt Kenseth was trying to take off from Tim Fedewa, but give two guys credit that were in the doghouse at the end of last week's race. Fedewa and Ryan Newman. There's Fedewa in second place. He's just a car length back, and Newman's having a strong run here. The rookie is 6th.
And I got to go all the way back to the opening of our show. Matt Yoakum talked about Ryan Newman in that old car and said he's got to use patience, and he has certainly done that here his first trip to Bristol.
All that coaching he's getting is paying off today. He stayed pretty much out of trouble. He's running in a kind of area all by himself. Hadn't really been around a lot of action.
Leader's about to get into traffic. Fedewa is close enough to take advantage if Kenseth gets caught up in traffic here. 19 laps to go.
19 laps to go, and that's probably the biggest problem Matt Kenseth got, besides Tim Fedewa in the 66 on his rear bumper, is all that lap traffic right there in front of him. And in the meanwhile, Randy LaJoie, he's liking what he's seeing up there because he's closing from the 3rd position.
Yeah, but LaJoie's only got the 2 tires. I don't believe he's a fact. But I tell you, I believe that 66 car can pounce on that 17 car when the time comes.
That's Chad Little in the 74 car right there. That's the 12th place car, so he's fixing to put him a lap down, be only 11 cars on the lead lap.
And all these cars they're catching up to are pretty good cars right now, and they don't want to go a lap down if they can help it. Little bump and run there. Little tap in the rear, slide them up out of the way, and round you go.
And Tim Fedewa knew he had to stick right on that rear bumper. He couldn't let Chad Little back in the middle of him. He's got to stay with him here with 16 laps to go.
Yeah, his best chance is to get Kenseth caught in some traffic and try to get around him.
Now just ahead of the leaders, Jason Keller and Michael Waltrip trying to stay on the lead lap in 10th and 11th.
Remember, Michael had that problem earlier, almost went a lap down with the steering, but he stayed on the lead lap right here, and he's running again up there in the 9th position, well, 11th position, just took over 10.
And the leaders are right on them, Jeff.
Yeah, Larry, Mike. You don't think right now something, deals are not being made, guys are getting ready to get thrown off top of this building. The spotters right now are telling all these lap guys, give us a break, get out of our way and let us race.
Come on here. Go one back to the 66.
Jason Keller in the 57 car, with the trouble his teammate had, he could very well be the points leader. But in the meanwhile, Randy LaJoie, that 7 car right there, he's catching these guys, but I believe he'll run out of laps with 13 to go.
Got a long way to come and only 13 laps to get there. They make it past Jason Keller without incident. That separates Keller, though, from the battle he was enjoying with Michael Waltrip.
Boy, if Kenseth just burps, Fedewa's going to be all over him. Fedewa gets through 3 and 4 a little better than Kenseth does. Kenseth gets through 1 and 2 a little better than Fedewa does. Probably lap times very identical.
A couple of second-generation drivers going at it right here.
And they are identical. Both of them run 16.34 seconds on the last lap. He's running right in the tracks with Kenseth.
Keeping him right there, and he's got to figure, if I can catch this cat in traffic.
Terry Fedewa looking on.
And how desperately he needs a good run today. Yes. Of course, a second at Bristol is a great run. Boy, if he could pull a win off, it'd be big.
A second in Bristol, considering the season he's had, would be great.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, his best finish was last week at Darlington, 18th. And best finish ever at Bristol, 3rd in August of 95.
Kenseth has just matured so much as a driver. His Winston Cup experience pays off every time he comes back and runs these Busch cars.
Kenseth, who won here in August 2 years ago, looking for his 12th career Busch Series win.
I'm noticing right now, guys, that 66 car is starting to get loose up off the corner. The last 2 or 3 laps, I'm noticing fishtailing more and more.
Yeah, he has, Jeff. And Kenseth's starting to open up on him just a little bit, too. Really, 66's only choice, Fedewa's only chance is to get him caught in traffic.
And there's traffic ahead. Michael Waltrip, then Jeff Green, Tim Sauter, Jamie McMurray, and Greg Biffle. Could be a lot of traffic for the leaders to bust through here.
Yeah, because none of these guys, you know, there's still 7 laps to go. They don't want to give up. They might get a caution, stay on the lead lap.
Kenseth got a little loose there off turn 4. We got 6 laps to go, 5.5 laps to go now.
Michael pushed up out of the way, moved up out of the way. That's a good move on his part, and let the 2 leaders go by.
More traffic ahead for the leaders. There's Biffle and David Green.
Greg Biffle moving way to the high side there. He knows he's a bunch of laps down out there just trying to make circles. He gives these guys all the racing room.
Well, they're somewhat in the same family, you know, with Biffle and 17 car, sort of teammates.
More to go.
Got about 2 more cars in front of him here. 3 laps to go next time by. Goes underneath Shane Hall there in the 63 car. Got 1 more lap car there, Tim Sauter in the 61. And we got 3 laps to go.
And there's just no easy pass. I mean, even though guys try to give you a little room, there's just no easy way around.
He has cleared him now. He's got clean racetrack in front of him. 2 to go next time by.
Yeah, and
Vito couldn't get past Tim Sauter just as easily.
No, Sauter gave him the outside, but that's the long way around. Hard to get by.
Lap and a half left to go.
This is when Vito was going to give it all he's got. And Kent's is going to be just a little on the cautious side. He's got a little lead there. Just doesn't want to make a mistake.
Traffic well out in front of him as we begin the last lap.
And here they come.
Matt Kenseth gets his 12th career Busch Series victory.
Look at this battle right here. This is 5th, 6th, and 7th. Kenny Wallace, Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick.
And that's the way they finish. A wild one at Bristol, and Matt Kenseth prevails for his 12th career Busch Series win. We'll be right back with you here on FX. Matt Kenseth picks up his 2nd win in the last 4 Busch races here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Steve?
All right, thanks, Mike. Let's find out from Matt Kenseth how he survived and then won this race and then also found victory lane.
Well, that's what it's about here at Bristol, surviving. And, you know, I've had some great times here and some bad times. Last time we didn't do so good. And this time the Visine, Kraft Foods, Monte Carlo was really handling good. And we didn't have it good enough to beat the 2 and the 0-0, but, you know, we're in the right place at the right time.
How clutch was your pit crew, Matt? Heard you talk to them as you took the checkered flag.
That was really key. Them guys had good stops today that kept me in position to win the race. You can see when there's problems in the pits and he gets sent to the back, it's easy to get in an accident here at Bristol. So the last stop they especially did good. We had to pull a Springer up out of the right rear. I was too loose. There's no way we were going to win how we were, and made the right adjustments, and we were good enough to hold on there at the end.
All right, congratulations. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Well, Tim, your wife, Terry, was in tears in those last few laps as she was pulling for you, and why not? 27th in points, best finish so far had been 18th. Does this turn a tough year around or what?
Yeah, it sure does. You know, I was hoping we get that darn Visine car. He's won enough for these races, but he drove a heck of a race. We had good pit stops today, and, you know, we've had them all year, and today to get this Phillips 66 to a 2nd was a great run for us, and it's some momentum and some confidence in all of us. We need it bad. The whole team needs it, you know. We've just struggled as a team, and this will sure help us, and we needed it.
Does a good run at Bristol mean more than a good run at other places?
Yeah, I mean, this to me is a driver's track. Here in Darlington, you know, this is the 2 toughest tracks on the circuit, and to run good here, it makes me feel good, I tell you that much. I always want to win here, and we're still going to try.
Now, you came close today. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Well, Dick, Kevin Harvick's 7th place finish will give him the point lead by 21 over Jason Keller. Jeff Green, who fell out of this race, falls to 3rd in the series points. We'll be back with more in the order of finish right after this. Matt Kenseth, the winner. Best career finish for Jimmy Johnson in 4th. Kenny Wallace there rounds out the top 5. Also best career finish for Ryan Newman, finishing up 6th today.
How about Tim Sauter there, finishing 9th, was a lap down at one point, made it up, and that's a good finish for those guys.
A bunch of guys, you know, messed around. McLaughlin was in a wreck or 2 there, and he messed around, got a decent finish.
David Green also spent a lot of time up pit road, but came back. And the 6 car, Hodgson, the rookie, started dead last, and ended up 16th.
That's in his backup car.
Right. He wrecked yesterday.
That's a pretty good job on his part.
Most of these cars were not running, or perhaps should not have been running at the finish of this event.
They weren't running with a lot of sheet metal.
They were half running.
12 caution flags, 2 shy of the record. But what a wild 250 laps. And more tomorrow. 500 laps on Fox for the Winston Cup cars tomorrow. Happy hour, final practice coming up next.
Boy, Jeff Green finishing 38th. Really, really tough day for those guys.
Yeah, you better mark that down because you don't see that often.
Nope, knocked him out of the point lead.
It's definitely a wild day.
And more to come. Let's go down to Chris Myers.
All right, Kevin Harvick, your new points leader in the Busch Series. Jeff Green, they mentioned, knocked out of the race on lap 78, so he falls to third. But you were impressed with Tim Fido, who ended up second. Fido, and of course, Ryan Newman, they tangled last week, but both top 10 finishes today.
I think it showed right there, Chris, where the situation where those guys took it to heart after what they got into last week, settled down, and did a very nice job today, got solid finishes.
All right, at least 10 cars did not finish. We have happy hour coming up next as you see Matt Kenseth, his 12th Busch victory. He will start tomorrow in the Winston Cup race, and you will see that as they get things ready and clear things up here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. On Fox Sports Net, NASCAR this morning gets you going. You'll see the race, the Food City 500, 12:30 Eastern with our pre-race show on the big network Fox. Again, Dale Jarrett will join us here in the studio to look ahead. And NASCAR Victory Lane wraps things up. So more racing. Don't go anywhere, or at least a tune-up for tomorrow's race as the Winston Cup cars will hit the track. They hit them hard today. 12 caution flags. Who knows what we can expect? Matt Kenseth has the victory.